हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। एंड आज इस वीडियो में हम इनकम टैक्स कैलकुलेशन ओल्ड रिजीम और न्यू रिजीम के हिसाब से कैलकुलेट करना सीखेंगे। मैं आपको प्रैक्टिकली स्टेप बाय स्टेप सिखाऊंगा कि कैसे इनकम टैक्स कैलकुलेट होता है। इस वीडियो को देखने के बाद आप अपना इनकम टैक्स खुद कैलकुलेट कर पाओगे। सो विदाउट जस्ट वेस्टिंग एनी फर्दर टाइम, आई जस्ट क्विकली शेयर माई स्क्रीन एंड शो यू हाउ इट कैन बी डन. So first we will calculate tax on the basis of old regime. So for this calculation I have taken CTC as 15 lakhs. So in this video I'll explain you if your CTC is around 15 lakhs, then by investing smart how you can reduce your tax liability to zero and you don't have to pay a single rupee as in tax. So let's just get started. For this, I've considered CTC as 15 lakhs, and as per the law, minimum 50% of CTC should be a basic. So I've considered 50% of 15 lakh, that is 7 lakh 50,000 as in basic salary. This basic salary will be used for the calculation of PEF and HRA, and 12% of basic is normally deducted. So I've just taken 12% of 7 lakh 50,000. So 90,000 is the EPF deduction, and that can be claimed as deduction in the 8 section ETC. And the next part is HR. HR is basically house rent allowance, and for HRA calculation, we have to calculate it in the three steps, and whatever the minimum value of these three steps that can be claimed as HRA. So I'll quickly show you the HRA calculation. So first calculation is that basic salary plus dearness allowance, total of that. And if you are residing in metropolitan cities, then you can claim 50% of that. So 50% of 7 lakh 50,000 comes around 3 lakh 75,000. And if you are living in non-metro city, then 40% of basic plus DA can be claimed as deduction. So 3 lakh is 40% of 7 lakh 50,000. And second calculation is HRA received. In our salary slip you must be having the component HRA. So I've considered 25,000 per month, so yearly 3 lakh as an HRA receipt. And third criteria is that rent paid, total rent paid. So for this calculation I've taken 30,000 per month into 12, so 3 lakh 60,000 year rent less 10% of basic plus DA less 10% of basic plus DA. So 10% of 7 lakh 50,000 comes around 75,000. So the HRA can be claimed as 2 lakh 85,000. So based on these three calculation, we have calculated HRA deduction can be claimed, and for as per the income tax law, minimum of these three can be claimed as deduction. So minimum of three is 2 lakh 85,000. So in our calculation, I've taken HRA as in 2 lakh 85,000. And the next claim is LTA. LTA is basically leave travel allowance that can be claimed twice in a 4 years, and maximum reduction for this can be claimed as 50,000. And also keep in mind that only airplane tickets, train tickets, and public transport tickets are only considered for this deduction. And the next deduction we are talking about is a meal coupon. Nowadays, in every organization, employer are normally giving option to the employee to restructure his or her CTC to get the maximum benefit. So in my case, I have asked my HR to give me the meal allowance. For this meal allowance, maximum limit is 26,400, that is 2,200 per month. And next claim is internet claim. For this also I've asked my HR to give me the internet allowance. The only headache from my part is increased. Every month I have to upload my internet bill to get the reimbursement. But the benefit is I am getting for the meal coupons and internet bills. This amount is not taxable. So after this, our net salary has reduced to 10 lakh 36,000. So next deduction we can claim is standard deduction. It is applicable to everyone. So we don't have to do any investment on this. So standard deduction is 50,000. So next claim is interest on home loan. And you must be wondering how HRA and interest on home loan can be claimed simultaneously. Yes, it is possible. And as per the income tax, the only condition is that the city in which you are paying rent should be different from the city in which you are claiming house loan. For example, if you are living in Bangalore and you are paying rent there, and you in your hometown, you for example it is in Delhi, you have purchased one home, and on that you have taken one home loan. So interest on that home loan can be claimed as deduction. And for the calculation part, in case that property is given on rent, then we have to calculate the actual rent, and in case if the property is not given on rent, then we have to calculate the notional rent. Then we have to deduct property tax from that rent minus property tax, and we have to deduct 30% of rent which we have received, or the 30% of notional rent. This provision is added in the income tax law to compensate the wear and tear and maintenance of the house. And then we have to deduct the interest component of the loan, so which we are paying as a part of our EMI. So maximum reduction in this bracket can be claimed as 2 lakh. So maximum loss from house property can be claimed 2 lakh rupees. And the next deduction is ATC. This is very famous section and everyone is aware of that, since it is very popular section. So in this, variety of investment can be done: EPF, PF, house loan repayment, stamp duty, insurance, post office FD, tuition fee. So above we have taken 90,000 as a deduction which can be claimed under ATC. So balance 60,000 we will consider here, and for this you don't have to make any further investment, since home loan principal payment is also considered here. So we will claim interest component here and the principal component here. Next deduction is ATCCD subsection 1b. So in this we can get maximum 50,000 deduction. For this we have to invest 50,000 in our NPS tier 1 account, and the next section is ATCCD subsection 2, that is employer contribution, and it can be claimed up to 10% of basic plus DA in case of private sector, and in case of public sector, that is government employee, they can claim 40% of basic plus DA, and maximum limit is 7.5 lakhs. For getting this deduction, we have to ask our employer to deduct NPS on our behalf and invest in our tier 1 NPS account. And the next section is ATD, that is health insurance premium. We can claim up to 75,000. For self, we can claim up to 25,000. The premium on medical policy which we have paid can be claimed as deduction under section ATD. For the self, limit is 25,000, and if you are also paying for your spouse, that can also be claimed. Only condition is that the payment has to be done from your account. And second deduction is parents. The maximum deduction on the premium of medical policy of parents can be claimed 50,000. So total 75,000 we can claim deduction under section ATD. And for the AT, there is no limit. This is the interest component on the education loan if we have taken. So there is no limit. Whatever the interest we are paying on our education loan can be claimed as deduction. For this calculation purpose, I've just taken 30,000 as an interest on education loan. So after doing all the permutation and combination and what all options are available in the Income Tax Act as per the old regime, we have taken and we have reduced our taxable income right from 15 lakh to 4 lakh 96,600. Now I'll just quickly show you the tax slab rate. The income up to 2 lakh 50,000 attracts nil rate of tax rate, so we don't have to pay a single rupee as a tax. And an amount exceeding 2,50,000, that is 2,50,000 1 rupees to 5 lakhs, attract 5% of tax. So as per our calculation, we are falling in this 5% bracket. So as per this slab rate, our taxable income is 4 lakh minus 2 lakh 50,000. So this is our taxable income, and on this we have to pay 5% income tax. So our liability as per our calculation comes around 12,330 rupees. But there is one more provision in the Income Tax Act. If our taxable income is less than 5 lakhs, then under section 87A we can claim rebate of maximum 12,500. So in our case, our taxable income is less than 5 lakhs, and our tax liability is 12,330, and maximum rebate amount which can be claimed is 12,500. So entire 12,330 rupees can be claimed as rebate, and we don't have to pay a single rupee tax on that. So I have just shown you the calculation. If your CTC is 15 lakhs and you just follow this blindly, you don't have to pay a single rupee income tax act as per the old regime. Now let's just talk about the new tax regime. In new tax regime, we don't have much option for the investment and then further taking the deduction as PF contribution, same as old regime, can be claimed under this new regime. And second deduction is that standard deduction, which is applicable in old regime and new regime. Standard deduction can be claimed. And third deduction we can claim is NPS deduction under section 80 CCD subsection 2. For getting this deduction, we have to ask our employer to deduct NPS on our behalf and deposit it in our NPS Tier 1 account. Then only we will get this deduction. So maximum limit is same as the old regime, 7.5 lakhs. But there is one more criteria. In case if you are working in private sector, then 10% of your basic salary plus DA can be considered. And if you are working in the government sector, then 14% of your basic plus DA can be claimed as deduction under 80 CCD subsection 2. For our calculation purpose, I have considered CTC such as our income tax liability should be nil. So I have done the calculation earlier and I'm just showing you now. As per the new regime, if your salary is up to 8,40,000, then I'll show you practically how you can opt for new regime and you don't have to pay a single rupee income tax. So for this purpose, I have considered annual cost to company as 8,40,000 and 50% of it is 4,20,000. That will be a basic salary, and 12% of the basic will be PF contribution, and that is tax deductible. So we'll deduct 50,400 from our annual cost to company, that 8,40,000. So our gross salary come around 7,89,000. And the next deduction we can claim is standard deduction of 50,000. And the third deduction we can claim it 80 CCD subsection 2. So maximum limit is there is 7.5 lakhs, but it also depends upon our basic plus DA salary. So our basic salary is 4,20,000 and maximum 10% can be claimed. So we consider it 42,000 and our taxable income comes around 6,97,600. And now look at the tax slab rate up to 3 lakhs. In new regime, we don't have to pay single rupee as tax. Starting from 3 lakh 1 rupees to 6 lakhs, we have to pay 5% of tax. And starting from 6 lakh 1 rupees to 9 lakh, we have to pay 10% of tax. So as per our calculation, our taxable income is 7 lakhs. So we are coming in this two bracket. So on first 3 lakhs, as per the 5%, our tax liability is 15,000, and for the balance 97,600. And as per the 10%, our tax liability comes around 9,760, and total we have to pay 24,760 based on our taxable income of 6,97,600. But there is one provision in the Income Tax Act. If your taxable income is less than 7 lakhs, then you can claim rebate, and rebate amount can be maximum 25,000. So in our case, our taxable income is less than 7 lakh and our total tax liability is less than 25,000. So entire 24,760 can be claimed as rebate, and we don't have to pay a single amount as an income tax. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.